It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. But sometimes you gotta do that. I was up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Yeah, okay. Breakdown Friday. We back. Joseph Ward, Patrick Irvin, Professor Carl Tone Jones. As you can see, we are weighing in on the P. Diddy situation. But of course, you already know we come from different angles because he's in the same lane as Tiffany Henyard, as far as I'm concerned. Him and Tiffany Henyard are in the same lane. Black people who abuse power, and they abuse power the same way the white folk abuse power, and then they terrorize their own. They recognize their weakness towards the white people, the white power structure. They recognize their weaknesses. To that matter of fact, Diddy is submissive to that white power structure, but then he uses the power that he has, or the leverage that he has, and the influence that he has in the music industry to terrorize people, allegedly. From the information we've come across, this man been terrorizing people for a long time. Now, I just want to go on record, because I've been saying this in person, like face to face to people since I was in middle school. So, and I was in middle school between like 95 and 98. So give you a framework of how long I've been saying this. I thought something was wrong with Buddy the first time I saw him. I didn't think, I was like, either the elevator don't go all the way up or the building don't have an elevator. But something wrong with this dude. And come to find out, it is something wrong with him. Of course, at that time, my juvenile mind, I thought, he was, meant extra chromosomes or missing some chromosomes. I don't want to offend these communities, because I don't want these communities to think that I'm saying that Diddy is one of them, because I'm not. But I just thought Diddy might have been, curated in an incubator or in the sock or something like that. I don't know. I didn't think he was a regular human being or something. Like I say, the elevator may not have gone all the way up, or the building don't have an elevator. That's the energy I'm on with this dude right now. But I'm also on this energy, not just for him, but for the people who've been around him, and the people who've been supporting this, and the people who knew this was going on and helped to facilitate this. Because a person don't come a tyrant by themselves. They have others helping them to become a tyrant. So PC, as you take your sip, what you think about just this whole Diddy situation and everything that have come out of this situation, and that has led to him giving this apology?
I think everybody need to apologize to the so-called conspiracy theorists who have been out like this for decades.
Boy,
you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing, because when it was cool to be the part, but it says more about the black community than it does about Puffy, because we always get to this place, right? And you can even go to like Obama when he was the president and things of that nature. We never want to hold people accountable to us when they're in a position where we can jock ride, or we can, jump on the bandwagon, or we can put them up in a place where we, utilize them to celebrate the image of all black people. We never want to look back into the ways that they treat us and the things that they don't do for us and the things they do to us. And, you know what I'm saying? So the way I see this whole Puffy situation is he is one of many who have been put in this position where they don't feel like they have to be accountable to us. We create that buffer ourselves. We've even created words like hater when you want to call people out for certain actions and activities and things of that nature.
Haters.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And we sort of castigate anybody that would question questionable antics of people who have risen in clout, notoriety, and fame in our eyes. And I think it's kind of like poetic justice that he's dealing with what he's dealing with right now. I mean, I'm not ever going to be a person to jump on the bandwagon when somebody black is under the you know what I'm saying, under the microscope, because I feel like the white media is going to do that job for us. They don't need our help. You know what I'm saying? Because when it's one of theirs, they do the bare minimum in terms of that. Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein got away with it for years. And it was covered, not just by the media, but also powerful people that, you know what I'm saying, that they were in cahoots with. So, but I feel like when it comes to us, the white media is going to do its job in terms of assassinating the character of somebody, or just, you know, basically pulling the carpet from under them, the rug from under them. And they don't need our help for that. You know what I'm saying? Our job is to make sure we don't create more puffies. That's our job. Our job is to make sure that we tell people that there's a price to be paid if you want to do things a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So if you move and operate in a certain way, just understand this comes with this. Because I don't have a lot of sympathy for the people that, you know, fell in line with this. A lot of people put a price on this, so they were easily bought and paid off. Now they all want to come out and do all this, that, and the other, but your integrity was, you know what I'm saying, revealed at the moment in which all this stuff was going down. So, you know, that's just my take on the whole Puffy situation. And you know, people, it's funny, right? Because I was watching an interview with Skinny Joey Merlino. He was one of the mob bosses here in Philly, and he was talking about the fact that a lot of these cats, he doesn't trust a lot of these cats that have now come out and sort of rebuke the mob life, because the only reason they did it is because they got caught.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at this apology from Puffy. Yeah. Like, nigga, the apology's 8 years old. Like, if you were truly sorry, the apology happens then. It don't happen 8 years when you got to make a public, like, you know what I'm saying? And I understand this thing was leaked to the public at a specific time for a reason, you know, and Puffy, I think, recognizes that as well.
And it was buried for 8 years for a reason as well. So if you so sorry, why the hell was the tape buried for 8 years?
Right. He had it. He bought it. Rumor has it that he bought it off the hotel. He bought the tape. But so why do you still have the tape, Puffy?
Well, another question is, what? I always wondered what the hell, why did he name himself Puff Daddy? And then, you know, somebody, you know, alluded to, well, maybe he smoked. I don't think that's what he puffing. So, you know, yeah.
Well, the irony is, well, I don't know, because I don't know him personally, so I'm not going to speak on that.
I'm being shady. I ain't gonna lie. I'm being shady because, you know, Puff Daddy, he's yeah. But
similar to the Tiffany Henry thing, is drunk with power and forgetting that you still, like, Don King said it better than anybody else. You're rich, you're a poor nigga, educated nigga, you just become an educated at the end of the day, you're still a nigga to them.
And you're doing all this. You're terrorizing your people for them.
They will allow you to do so because you're doing their dirty work. To destroy your own people, you're doing their dirty work. To create a culture like this where he's corrupting, you know, the morals of people around him. And it ain't just him. He has a circle. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And so you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, and when you run out of your usefulness, they discard you. And that's a lesson they all need to learn.
Yep. His the sun has set on him in his career. He either did somebody wrong or didn't do somebody right. So
yeah.
If you can pick up what I'm putting down. So that's why they call him Puff Daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pat sitting up there gasping at stuff I'm saying, like you ain't used to the stuff that I be saying. What do you have to say about this piece of human feces that we call Puff Daddy?
Human fecal matter.
Yeah.
Joe just flushing everybody down the toilet.
I'm kind of in the same ballpark where I'm like, I'm surprised that people are surprised.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, when I was growing up, again, Joe and I are basically the same age. I thought everybody thought Puffy was weird. Like, I thought everybody.
Okay,
like,
so it wasn't just me.
Yeah,
so
no,
okay.
I thought everybody understood that there was something off with Puffy. But seeing the way people are responding to this, I'm kind of like, huh. Oh. Like, it's just confusing. Because for years, we've been telling jokes about Puffy being weird. You know, like everything Puffy does has kind of been just a little off. It's just like 7 degrees left. But it's apparently it's like, oh shit.
Yes.
Apparently everybody don't see 7 degrees. I guess I don't know if they eyes ain't. And this ain't one of those like where I'm like, oh, now that you see some like, oh, I've been to it. No, Puffy was like legit. Like there were conversations being had since the 90s.
Yeah.
About Puffy.
Yeah, and some of the stuff he been doing.
So, and not all of them were centered around him being gay. Some of them were centered around him being abusive, him being a thug, him being a hoodlum, him being a black mob boss, if you will. Like there were all of these conversations around the crazy stuff orbiting Puffy. And I want to say it picked up when he started doing making the band series.
Before that,
I mean, it's some pretty gangster stuff to have motherfuckers walking through the streets at the middle of the night to get you some cheesecake.
But before that,
hold on, y'all. I sent some motherfuckers through the streets at night to get me some cheesecake. No,
I'm just saying. Like, no, I know it was
get a piece of cheesecake.
I know it was before that, but I'm saying I feel like I think I remember it picking up around that time.
It started, the momentum, But remember, this was after Shine, though.
Right. It was, but
he ruined that.
You know, and the way he was sitting in the room, and like I still remember, like you know, you seem like you got some in you.
Wait, remember he had that campaign,
bro? So it's like there's a bunch of different signs of Puffy not really giving a fuck about other people. So I'm kind of confused. As far as the apology goes, I don't care nothing about somebody that apologizes after they get caught. There have been some private situations that have shown up that have arrived where both of you brothers have apologized to me about things that I didn't even know was a thing beforehand because you felt some type of way in your spirit about what had transpired. I can respect that, and I do respect that, and that's one of the reasons I continue to respect you all is because there's a code to your own character that it doesn't matter if it's found out or not. I know that it happened, and I want to make sure, and to be clear, it was never nothing nefarious and nothing like that. Like, it wasn't nothing crazy. It was just like, I feel this type of way about this thing that was said or that happened or a joke or whatever the case might be. And I want to, and that those apologies matter. If you got to be checked to apologize.
Yeah, you ain't.
Yeah.
John Diddy Combs has been charged in federal court in New York City, and an indictment into the charges music mogul's facing was just unsealed in Lower Manhattan.
The indictment alleges that between 2008 and now, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced his victims. It even alleges he led a racketeering conspiracy that engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice, among other crimes.
Damian Williams, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, is speaking right now.
And let's head to the federal courthouse in Lower Manhattan and hear more about the charges in this case.
Arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance.